evening, I'm Deslin Joseph, your presenter for today. Thank you for joining us for SAT TV News. Among the major developments, EC $18 million deal signed for geothermal project. Turks and Caicos locals react to former premier's arrest. Egypt crisis, Morsi gives army arrest powers before vote. And in sports, Scotiabank Baffin State maintains lead in Premier Division football competition. Details of these and other stories after the break. Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. As the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry continues the fight to destroy the deadly citrus greening disease, two volunteers from the Florida Association for Volunteer Action in the Caribbean and Americas Incorporated provided some valuable assistance while they were on island. They are consultants Dr. Eric Rohig and Dr. Sean from the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, who worked with personnel of the Plant Protection Unit on the management of citrus greening disease from December 2nd to 7th. Dr. Eric Rohig pointed out that since the disease has been in Dominica since 2006 and has not spread to the commercial areas, they have to use it in their favor to destroy it.
Your major concerns right now would be more of personnel moving the psyllid into new areas and also moving the citrus disease into new areas via movement of infected material or non-infected material that still has psyllid populations on it, or on personnel moving that have been around the psyllids moving it. The psyllid would be very difficult to eradicate. It likely you will never be able to eradicate it from the island. So it's something you'll have to deal with. But something that's very positive news is the disease itself can likely be eradicated from the island. And that's something that a lot of countries would be very jealous of, to be at the point you guys are at now, which is a critical point. If the appropriate actions are taken and precautions and everybody works together, you have a good chance of eradicating disease.
He said if all the disease material can be removed, the psyllids will have no disease to vector. Dr. Roig says the spreading of vermin which combat the psyllids is also very important in fighting this disease.
Between the natural enemies you already have and the parasitoids that have been introduced and likely will establish here, you should be able to have excellent biological control throughout the future of the Asian citrus psyllid. So right now it's more of controlling and eliminating the disease where it's present, and Dr. Sun will cover that some more. Recommendations that I have would be to remove different host plants of this citrus psyllid. Not only will it feed on citrus, but it also feeds on citrus relatives. And one thing is the sweet lime hedges you guys have around the island as ornamentals and to form fences around properties. Those serve as reservoirs of psyllids, so they can live in there and reproduce and increase their populations and disperse from there.
According to the research done, it has been discovered that the disease came from infected plants which were brought into the country illegally, while some of the infected plants were grafted with local plants which caused the spread. He said, however, the spread of the disease have only been in residential areas such as Wesley, Point Michel, Lapland, and Cabris.
We believe there are some recommendations we need to give it to the Department of Agriculture or Ministry of Agriculture. All commercial orchards need to get citrus seedlings from certified nursery, which the department has already done that. So we have plenty of the seedlings we can supply to the local growers or the residents. So also prevent planting any citrus near the commercial groves, including the properties nearby. They may help the seeds jump from one tree to the another, and eventually gets to the commercial groves. And also establishment of government-owned and certified citrus nurseries. And also we also needed to ask for the private nurserymen to work with the department and then follow the guidelines, and we can provide to produce healthy citrus seedlings, which
Dr. Son stated they have to set up a quarantine area in Point Michel and Wesley to commence the removal of infected trees and plants. In addition to that, they also will monitor island-wide for the disease, so any new area which is identified will be dealt with. Dr. Son indicated that the public's cooperation is vital in the extermination effort of this disease. Head of the Plant Protection Quarantine Unit in the Division of Agriculture, Mr. Ryan Anselm, says the public should not move any infected plants, as this will further defeat their hard work and put them backwards in solving this issue.
Wang Longbing is one of the devastating citrus disease, and you will recall that we are battling with citrus tristeza, and now we have Wang Longbing. So again, we need the farmers to keep the faith. The objective of the ministry is to maintain the production level of the farmers and to help them sustain their livelihood by exporting fruits, and that we can have our lime juice and our fresh fruits when we need them. So again, we are working hard, and we're asking the general public to assist in the management strategy.
And in more news, many children were extremely excited on Saturday, December 8, 2012, as they were guests at the President's annual Children's Christmas Party. A total of 242 school children between the ages of 5 and 12 years, extending from the villages of Layu to Dubla, were all invited to the party. The event, which took place at the Salisbury Primary School, was filled with entertainment for children as they played games such as Pin the Till on the Donkey. President His Excellency Eliud Williams, who was present at the Christmas party, took the time to share some of the food for the children. The children also got the opportunity to receive presents from Santa Claus. The aim of the party was to enhance the well-being and joy of the less fortunate junior brothers and sisters during the Christmas season.
Joyful Lord, the nations rise, join the triumph of the skies.
And in more news, the government of Dominica on Monday, December 10th, signed an EC $18.1 million deal for the construction of 2 full-size geothermal wells in the Roseau Valley for the ongoing geothermal energy project. This will be carried out by the Iceland Drilling Company of Iceland, in which the estimated construction time to complete is 4 months. During this time, when the cost of energy keeps rising, geothermal energy continues to be pursued as a game changer. Parliamentary representative for the Roseau Valley constituency and Minister for Employment, Trade, Industry and Diaspora Affairs, Honorable Colin McIntyre, says this is just another big step in the government's quest to pursue geothermal energy to reduce energy costs on consumers. He stated this deal signing is a major source of investment and activity in the Roseau Valley.
Now this is just for the period of time I'm speaking about, but looking ahead in terms of what's coming and the level of investment and government plans, and I speak of the Dominica Labour Party and our plans to really produce that sort of energy. I see this as a great opportunity in Dominica for investment in terms of lowering the cost of green, environmentally friendly energy that can really take our country to the next level. Whenever I speak of energy from the Roseau Valley, and of course long ago in terms of hydro, and now in terms of the geothermal energy, I speak of energy to the next level. So ladies and gentlemen, with these few words, as parliamentary representative of the Roseau Valley, I'd like to say we welcome the project and we're really excited about the project in the Roseau Valley in particular and in Dominica generally.
Minister of Public Works, Energy and Ports, Honorable Rayburn Blackmore, stated this project is leading the way for consumers, both on a domestic and commercial level, to enjoy lower energy costs through geothermal energy production. He said when completed, they will have the capacity to produce energy for export to countries such as Martinique and Guadeloupe. He also mentioned that this geothermal plant will also put Dominica in a better position in the continued fight against climate change and global warming, while pushing to be a leader in the production of renewable energy in the Caribbean and possibly the world.
The consumer pays $100 or $1.50 per kilowatt hour currently, with an average of 40% insofar as such as is concerned. If we were to reduce our dependence on fossil fuel, we can almost do away with that ridiculously high surcharge component of the bill. Already we have a mix of 40% coming from hydro, and then the rest coming from fossil fuel. If we can get to a point where we have a mix of geothermal and hydro with our generators as backup, we're well on the way to having a clean and green environment insofar as energy generation is concerned.
Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, pointed out that part of the geothermal project is the construction of a 15-megawatt plant for local use, but will also include a 250-megawatt plant for exporting energy, which will give the country the opportunity to earn some much-needed foreign revenue. He said this project will be as big for Dominica like what oil is to Venezuela and Saudi Arabia, which is why his administration has continued to pump resources into the project.
But oftentimes, this government is criticized. You know, we hear so many negative things in this country. But this is an opportunity for us to wrap ourselves around the national flag. If we say that we're genuinely concerned about Dominica's development, we like to see more jobs in the economy, we like to see greater growth than the 2 or 3% that we've been seeing in the last few years. What is our contribution to that effort? What is our contribution to that mandate? Because it is very simple for anybody to criticize, but more difficult for people to put their hands to work. Anybody can sit on the radio and be in some studio, some microphone and talk all day long. But what are we doing as individuals and as a collective towards Dominica's development?
This is just another step of the government working towards bringing its people to the next level. The materials for the drilling are expected on island by the third week of January 2013, while the drilling will commence in May or June 2013. One well will be constructed in Lily Valley, Trafalgar, while the next is in Loda. And in more news, our public service transforming, modernizing, positively changing. That was the theme for the Excellent in the Public Service Awards ceremony, which took place on Friday, December 7, 2012. According to Ms. Irma Edwards, Chief Personnel Officer, there are large numbers of public officers who go above and beyond their duties, and it is necessary to devote some of their time to recognizing these people from time to time.
The awards and recognition ceremony also presents an opportunity for the wider public, citizens and persons further afield to receive information regarding the work of the public service and its invaluable contribution to the process of national development. More often than not, we rely on the media to partner with us in disseminating such information, and so we do appreciate your presence here and look forward to the timely sharing of information on this event.
Ms. Hannah Calendon has been an international civil servant for many years, and she was the featured speaker at the ceremony. She says as public officers, they should constantly be striving to change their environments and way of life.
What is the concern of the public service? It is serving the public, bringing about change for the betterment of those whom we serve. We are changing work processes, we are changing our delivery methods, we are extending services in time and place, we are transforming the people through education, ensuring that they are healthy and enjoying a healthy environment. Overall, we are creating and forever improving an enabling environment in which others have to work to create wealth for the nation.
She admits that as public officers, they are the most valuable resource a country can have because they work for the most important resource, the country's citizens. She says each of them has time and talents and should be bringing something positive to the table to ensure that there is steady growth in the country's development.
We have been promoting good public health for the years. Yet today, we are still dealing with basic garbage disposal. We have been promoting good customer care for years, yet today we are still dealing with basics in good customer care, respecting the client. What this tells us is that changing habits, attitudes, behavior takes a long time. Have we grown the public to self-manage and self-police in order to facilitate the smooth implementation of standards and laws?
Some of the awards given included Family of the Year Award, Minister of Public Service Award, and Public Officer of the Year Award. And in more news, children, teenagers, and adults jam-packed the Ararak House of Culture on Saturday, December 8th for the Dominica Can Dance Finals. The most talked about event was hosted by National Cooperative Credit Union NCCU Calypso Champ, Mr. Webster Marie, and Miss Monel Alexis. The show kicked off with a performance by Calypsonian Jamal Black Diamond Lloyd, which set the mood for the crowd, followed by the first performance from Group Be Free. The show consisted of 9 contestants and 2 rounds, therefore each participant had a chance to perform twice. Contestant number 5, who goes by the name of Workless, demonstrated a creative dance piece that blew the crowd away and literally had them on their feet. First runner-up as well as Carnival Queen contestant Miss Lester Amor Shillingford did an exquisite ballet piece in the first round. In the second round, she switched the pace with a much more hip-hop performance. At the end of the night's performances, it was the group Muchachos who won the competition and is now $5,000 richer. They also get a chance to perform in a Caribbean dance competition. In the first round, Muchachos did what is called an original performance. They were quite excited to win the competition.
Well, it feels good. I mean, I've been in a lot of performance already in my life, from school and taking part in Venezuela Institute, being leading Latin dances as well. Also a founder member of the Whitey Kubuli, but this is my first time in a very long while being part of a competition, and this is the first time I actually really feeling that I actually won a competition. But I like to say on behalf of Ansel, this is a very good thing that he get the young people out there to come to show their talent, because in Dominica we have a lot of talented people, a lot of talented young dancers, and they are just, well, more or less wasting their talent away. So I think this is a good opportunity, and I would really like them to come out there and do their best, because, I mean, Dominica can dance. So don't be shy, come here for next year, and you do your best in the competition, man.
And you were in tears, how do you feel? Well, I feel great, and I feel very proud of myself for winning the competition. It's the first time I've ever won a competition in my entire life.
Founder of the show, Anson Prince, says they worked very hard to put this competition together, and he is pleased that it was a success.
I'd like to thank the participants, all those who participated, and I'd like to thank El Naro and Marlon for being, well, we know the first ever Dominica Can Dance, the national dance competition winners. They will be written down in our history books as the first competition hosted on island of its kind, the first winners. Your grandchildren will love it, and I would say it was tremendous. I would like to thank Lime, being our major sponsors. From the time they heard the idea, they knew that it would have been a success, and they have been with us and have made it a success, because without Lime, we would not have gotten this far again. I'd also like to thank all those who sponsored us, all those who patronized in some way, all those who made a part of this, all the guest performers, all the artists, all the media houses who carried the footage, every one of you who paid for the tickets, you all are the success of this.
And in more news, the official signing of contracts for the Carnival 2013 Queen contestants took place on Monday, December 10, 2012. The event is scheduled to take place on Friday, February 8, 2013 at the Pottersville Savannah. The ladies are currently undergoing intense training, and Miss Romalda Hyacinth assures the public that the ladies are ready for the competition.
This will be the time when all the ladies will display their talent, intelligence, glamour, poise, and you, the public, and other interested persons, you must attend that show to see for yourself. The Miss Dominica pageant 2013 will surely be a memorable one.
The ladies and the chaperones are all signed their contracts for the 2013 Miss Dominica pageant. The reigning Miss Dominica, Miss Nadira Lando, says that now they have all signed their contracts, there is no turning back. Director of Discover Dominica Authority, Mr. Colin Piper, says that the work is still continuing with regards to preparations for the pageant. He says that he will be happy with any of the ladies representing Dominica.
We believe that the Queen Show is the flagship of certainly what it is that we have to do during the carnival season. And so there is, we're expecting a lot, but to whom much is given, much is expected, right? So let me just once again thank you guys, you know, and impress upon you the kind of the importance of what you're doing, not only in your kind of lives, but in terms of moving Carnival forward.
At the High Court on Monday, December 10th, the facts were heard in the case of the state versus Donald Thomas of Louisville. The facts in the matter states that the complainant Donilsa Laville of Boys Avenue, Roseau, and her boyfriend Clint Pierre were on Saturday, June 5, 2011, walking along Victoria Street in Roseau when stones were hurled in their direction at about 2:45 a.m. Miss Laville was advised by her boyfriend to go ahead without him, and she did. She walked across to Patty Shack on Old Street. On hearing footsteps behind her, she turned around and saw a man with a black scarf wrapped around his face, covering his nose, mouth, and chin. As soon as she looked at him, he grabbed her, held her throat, and covered her mouth. The complainant struggled to get away by screaming and fighting with the accused. She fell to the ground and he grabbed onto the pocket of her pants and held her right leg, trying to pull her pants down. She managed to run away from him. He ran after her and held onto her sweater and pulled her backwards, saying, "Shut up and come." She had a cell phone in her hand and he took it away from her. She heard a motorbike pass by and she fought the accused and she ran towards the sound. Luckily, the bike stopped and she saw that it was her boyfriend's friend who later arrested the accused. Both Miss LaVille and Donald Thomas was taken to the Roseau police station. Afterwards, Miss LaVille was taken to the Princess Margaret Hospital, where she was treated for bruises she sustained during the struggle. The doctor reported that Miss LaVille was in emotional distress, shaking and nervous. At the police station, when questioned by the officer about the incident, Thomas said that he was under the influence of alcohol and he knows what he did was wrong and to please forgive him. He was arrested and charged. Donald Thomas pleaded guilty to the charge of actual bodily harm. He was represented by Mr. Joshua Francis, who said that his client has suffered socio-economic hardships and been left to fend for himself at a young age, and having no father has led him to commit such acts. He advised Justice Stevenson to impose a suspended sentence on him with psychiatric evaluation. However, Justice Stevenson said that from reports given to her by family, friends and neighbors, it seems that Mr. Thomas is not remorseful and that when he attempted to pull on her pants, he was seeking to take her undergarments as a trophy. She said that Dominica does not currently have the appropriate facilities to deal with people like Mr. Thomas, and she sentenced him to 18 months in prison, including the time that he already spent on remand. She hopes he would reflect on his life and learn some skills so that when he's released from prison, he will be a meaningful contributor to society. The September criminal assizes were closed by Justice Stevenson and new assizes will be opened on January 15, 2013. This has been a local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.